Come on in, everybody. You have your tea? I got mine, except it's cold. Yeah, it's gotten cold on me. Come on in. Come on in. Let me get the chat up. Even cold tea is better than no tea, y'all. Yeah, you heard me. Even cold tea is better than no tea. Get my little microphone on. Where is my people? Yeah. Sherry and sister and Rosalind and Julie. Fancy G. So come on in. Patty read me a testimonial this morning that just blew me away. I'm telling you, it's nice to know y'all are finding things. Finding things. And one of those things is my cooking videos. Y'all, when I was doing those cooking videos, I, it was hilarious. I had flour all over me. I was a mess. But you learn something out of them. So we had this precious lady who found the cooking videos last week, and she was able to make an Easter dinner for her family. I got lipstick on my nose. That's not good. She was able to make a there. I don't know how I got lipstick on my nose. Anyway, she's able to make Easter dinner for her family, and she actually fried some chicken for them and made some buttermilk biscuits. They made biscuits together. How cool is that? I think it's kind of special to get in the kitchen and cook with your family. I remember doing that with Rebecca one time. We made an apple pie. I had this pie plate that had the apple pie recipe in it. And this is an apple pie recipe that was in the Better Homes and Gardens Red Checkered Cookbook that I recommended last week. But it's just such an easy recipe. Anybody can do it. Anyway, Rebecca and I were making this apple pie recipe, and you put one crust in the bottom, and I cheat. I use Pillsbury pre-made crust, but you know you can make an apple pie with cinnamon rolls and push them down in a pan and smash them down, and makes a great crust for an apple pie. But Rebecca and I were making this apple pie, and we cut up all these apples and put them in a mixing bowl, and we took a measuring cup and we put sugar in it and some flour and cinnamon, lots of cinnamon. You need lots of cinnamon. And then we coated all the apple slices with this powdered mixture, and we layered that into the pie pan with the crust, and then we dotted it with butter, and then we put the top crust over it, and then we cut some slits in it so it wouldn't blow up like a balloon, and put it in the oven at 350. And I mean to tell you, it was the prettiest pie you've ever seen. And if you space the apples in there instead of just throwing them in there, if you lay them in there nicely, you can get more apples in. And we had a pie that was this tall. It was huge, but it was a lot of fun. And so she had the pie plate had the pie recipe in it, but it's just a simple recipe. You don't even need a recipe for apple pie. You just cut it up and put it in the pie plate. Anyway, sometimes it's just good to get in the kitchen and cook. Just cook. Patty likes that idea of cinnamon roll pie crust. I saw somebody last night who took Oreos, chopped them all up, put some milk with them, put some flour and an egg and something else and some cocoa and put it in the microwave and they dunked an Oreo down in it and made Oreo cake, individual serving. And then I saw somebody make brownies. You know what? You can get hungry looking at YouTube. And she made brownies, cut them up into little pieces, and then made some chocolate chip cookies. And she flattened out the cookie dough, put a brownie in it, put another bit of cookie dough on top, sealed it around the edges, rolled it up in a ball, and put it on the cookie parchment paper. And she had the most amazing cookies with brownies in the middle of it. And then there was another one. What did they do on that one? Oh, this is from Dylan Hollis. He likes old cookbooks. And he found a cookbook where they used stale bread. This is from the Depression days. They used stale bread, mushed it all up, put some milk with it, put some floof powder, he calls it, baking powder, and a little bit of sugar, stirred it all up, and made pancakes. My phone's ringing in the living room. And made pancakes, and he said they were really good. Take old stale bread and turn it into pancakes. They're leaving a message. We got an old time answer machine. Anyway, folks, sometimes it's good to just get in the kitchen and cook. Throw together a recipe. You got some leftover pinto beans and some hamburger meat that's pre cooked in your freezer. A little taco seasoning. You can make, and cheese. You got to have cheese. You got to have cheese. Yeah, old bread does make good French toast, but he turned it into pancakes. He turned it into a batter, which was kind of weird. Yeah, Hollis is a hoot. Sometimes his jokes are not quite like I want to hear, but he does better in his longer format videos instead of his TikTok videos. Anyway, maybe you only have one egg and you don't have an egg for everybody. But it was just an interesting testimonial that this lady was a vegetarian and she didn't know how to cook, but she took my cooking videos that I had done looking like a haint, flour everywhere. I had on black, and so I think it had gotten all over me. Yeah. His longer term videos and his cookbook. I can't wait till to get his cookbook. He's got a cookbook coming out. Anyway, y'all drink your tea. Well, Julie, tell us what your recipe is for your casserole. I used to live on a rock, y'all. And up on the mountain in Transylvania County, we couldn't keep an answer machine. I mean, every time we'd have a storm, it would blow out our answer machine. There's just I don't know what was wrong. Who has a cookbook? Oh, it's Dylan Hollis. He's a music student from the Bahamas and he's in Wyoming. Imagine that. I just can't imagine going from the Bahamas to Wyoming. I don't know what instrument he plays. Anyway, bread pudding for stale bread. Yeah, that works. But he made pancakes with stale bread from a cookbook from the 1929. It was a cookbook from the Depression. I was listening to Patera today, and she was talking about a pastor, and I had just started listening to him. His name is, what was his name? Whitfield Huntington or something. Anyway, if you listen to her last video, it's talking about the Holy Spirit, and she heard the Holy Spirit tell her the other day to go buy another freezer. And they're out shopping, and they're in the freezer section of Aldi, and she said to her husband, because she doesn't go to the grocery store by herself. She always has somebody with her, which is always a good idea, ladies. Always a good idea. My hair is probably shining because it's got gray in it, and there's a light on me right there. So it's luminescent. But it's clean. I washed it last night too. But she heard the Holy Spirit tell her, you need to get another freezer. Now, Holy Spirit, make sure you have what you need to obey. And so they were out shopping, and she looks at James and she said, I forgot to tell you what I heard this morning at 4:30 in the morning. She was up at 4:30. This was Friday morning. We're supposed to buy another freezer. And the Holy Spirit even told her where to put it. You know, he can get specific. Just like the Holy Spirit tell me, hold on to my steering wheel. You know, you're going to have a blowout. He prepared me for that blowout. Well, so they went and looked at the freezer, and she knew right where she was going to put it too. I don't know if it was a backup freezer or what it was, but she heard what the Holy Spirit told her. And you know, sometimes you just have to sit quietly and not be looking at anything. Just sit quietly in prayer and meditation and just enjoy your quiet time with the Lord. Use a 13 by 9, spray with Pam, open up a frozen biscuits, place in this is Julie's casserole, breakfast casserole. Spaces, break eggs and put in between, top with ham slices, spinach, and mozzarella. And bake 40 minutes at 350. Put cheese on top. Yum. Now, some of us have leftover ham. What a great way to utilize your ham. And guess what? You can make that right now. Put it in the freezer for next weekend. Have it cooked and ready to go. You just have to heat it up. I like good recipes like that. Especially, it keeps you out of the kitchen when you make them ahead of time. But this lady with the testimonial had made my fried chicken. Now, the secret to my fried chicken and to anything I fry is buttermilk. Doesn't matter if it's fish, chicken, pork chops, it's buttermilk. And you season the buttermilk. I like a little cayenne pepper, a little black pepper, a little salt, a little garlic powder in the buttermilk, and you put the chicken in there. Maybe you just got a bag of chicken legs and you need to cook them. Then you take it out one at a time. You have a bag of that seasoned flour on the other side. You put the chicken leg in there and shake it up. Now, put some peanut oil in a skillet or in a Dutch oven. And I like to get it about that deep. and you pan fry this chicken till it gets brown. Now, it's probably not gonna be done, and then I take the chicken and I put it in a baking dish and cover it with aluminum foil and finish cooking it in the oven. My granny called it smother fried chicken. Now, you can take the aluminum foil off of it toward the end and you can crisp it up, but you gotta make sure it's done, and that's the way I like to make. I don't wanna bite into a piece of chicken and it be yucky. Don't wanna do that. Somebody has snow. Nope, I don't have snow. We were without power last weekend for 24 hours, but it wasn't because of snow, it's because of high winds. Yeah, I'm sitting in front of a backdrop. This is an 8 by 10 curtain. Not really a curtain. It's hung up at the ceiling. I don't know if you can see it or not. You can't see it. But we have it hung with Velcro. Double Velcro that has sticky on it and just sticks to the wall. It does a great job. Justin and I were really impressed with how good it was. But I like this white backdrop. My clothes look better up against it. I got to get FlyLady in the picture. Yeah, she needs to be in here. I wonder. Somebody's. No, it's not snow. That's just. It may look like snow, but it's not snow. I never saw the snow before. That's funny. Oh, this tea is tasting good. I hadn't had any water today. Thanks for the thumbs up, everybody. YouTube's been having issues. Our show, we had some lag time going on this morning. One of my podcasters I follow, he was doing a live, and people were complaining. And whenever you have an issue and it's on YouTube, all you got to do for me is to log out and come back in. Find your show in your history, and just come back in and find the show and click on it, and it starts you right where you left off. What kind of tea? It's decaf tea, because I can't drink tea after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's our wise women's tea. And it is so cute, y'all. You get 100 bags. 100 bags of this cute little round tea bag. Oh, and it is wonderful. And it's decaf. Somebody was talking the other day about how decaf coffee was made. Oh, that was on Walker Family Farm. She was hearing some kids talk about decaf coffee, and they didn't know what that was. And she had to explain that they take the caffeine out in this certain way. Well, they take the caffeine out of the tea with a water bath of some kind. I don't know how it works. Anyway, get in the kitchen and start with a sink full of hot soapy water. You will be happy. You will be happy. Anytime you go in the kitchen to cook, start with a sink full of hot soapy water. If nothing else, you get a manicure. You get a manicure. And if you hadn't looked at our cooking videos, they are simple. They just how to make green beans, sweet potato casserole, how to make rolls and cinnamon rolls. It's just so simple. It's just old country cooking. I can't even remember how many things I think I made about 18 different items. I made cornbread and cornbread dressing, and taught you how to chop up celery and onions and all the good stuff, make deviled eggs. Justin did one on pizza, yeah. So there's never a dull moment on our cooking channel. It's not really a channel, it's just a playlist. Justin does some things, I do some stuff. Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah, I don't boil my eggs. I cook mine in the oven for exactly 30 minutes, and the yellows are never green. Never green. But you got to try them out first, and the eggs have to be room temperature. Now, Mrs. Coghill, she cooks her eggs in the Instapot. Evidently, there's a recipe for it, and Brooke has made her her eggs in the Instapot, which just blows me away because it's a pressure cooker. Anyone know how to get the bowl on my KitchenAid mixer? Well, you got to raise the head up, and it twists into place and locks. Twists into place and locks. Sage has tried my egg recipe. And my collard greens, oh my goodness. I don't think I have the collard greens, but what I do with collard greens is I roll them up and I cut them in 1-inch strips. You got to take the stem out. And then I cook a pound of bacon and put the greens in the pot. And I also put about a cup of white wine in mine. Instapot egg. Yeah, they do the Instapot egg. I don't know. I don't use my Instapot much. I may find it a new home. But sometimes it's just good to get in the kitchen and just start cleaning out the refrigerator and using up stuff. Well, then do it the opposite direction. Remember, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Lefty. So you would do clockwise and counterclockwise. That clothesline from the former owner of my home put up in the garage over 25 years ago. It's being used now. My mother-in-laws, both of my mother-in-laws never used an electric dryer. My mother-in-law had a full basement and she had a clothesline in her basement, and that's Robert's mother. And then Justin's granny Elizabeth, she never had a dryer. She never had room for a dryer. And she hung things on coat hangers in the doorways. Yeah, I haven't seen the Six Sisters in a long time. I guess they're just not showing up on my news feed anymore. It's so quiet today. Can you hear the clock ticking? Yeah, I have a clock ticking on my wall. Justin does some good cooking videos. I love how y'all talk amongst yourselves, and I don't know, have a clue what you're. My sheets are on hangers on the clothesline. I remember Justin's granny Elizabeth. She would hang one side of the sheet on one clothesline, and then she would hang the other one, and she would let it bow down in the middle. And that was to keep them from touching the ground or getting a crease in them. And she loved the sheets that came off the clothesline. Justin was here this morning. He and Ethan and Mary came up to borrow my truck. Ethan's Jeep was giving him problems. I'm so glad it gave him problems before he went down the mountain to Greenville to take Mary to meet a friend to go back to college. Let's see. Last time I hung one, I had bees in the metal poles, and the black shirt was white and striped. I learned a lot about bees on Friday or Saturday, I guess it was. Mrs. Coghill Brooke, she had the beekeeper come, and they inspected the hives, and they were both in bee suits. I've messed with bee honey, wild honey from a stump, and that took me a while to get it all canned up. Anyway, folks, y'all be sure and check out the deals we got going on. The tea is $9.95, but don't complain about it being beyond its best buy sale date, because it's just in on the decaf. And just don't get upset because it's tea. I got tea that's 20 years old that's still good because it's in sealed little tin containers. Let's see. Does your tea have hibiscus leaves? Mm-mm. It has tea, not any hibiscus. Now, I have learned I don't do well with hibiscus or rose hips, either one. Uh, but I have learned taking a right amount of vitamin C does help. Does help. So y'all check out our complete pack. If you don't have any of our tools and you're really wanting a feather duster, that's where you can get the feather duster and all the other things. And when we get the calendars in, you'll get a calendar, so you don't have to order a calendar. So check out the complete pack. Um, what else? We just go look at shop.flylady.net. HTTPS shop.flylady.net. Reminds me that I need to take my vitamins. Yeah, vitamins are good. I took my B vitamins this morning. Easter was good. It was pleasant. Get it now. We're running low on mop cloths. You can see all of our tools in there. Okay, folks. My husband's coming back from the doctor's office. I haven't seen him since early this morning. I love you all. Be good, kind, and sweet. Be good to yourself by getting there in your kitchen and having some fun instead of thinking about it being not a fun time. Don't let your kitchen explode. Let's just get some things done. Be kind to others by inviting somebody over for dinner tonight. Let the joy and sweetness that is in your heart show the world that you're a child of the Most High, the only God in the universe. I love you all. I'll see you later.